Hello everybody, Adrienne here, and today I'm coming to you with a February Ulta haul. I did order some of these products online at the beginning of the month, and then 2 days ago I went into Ulta and picked up or exchanged out some of the products. We'll get into that in just a second, but if you like the look that I'm wearing today and want to see how I got it, I did use the new Natasha Denona Love palette that came out a couple weeks ago. This is the third look that I've created with this palette. I will post a link to this look. I think that I'm going to post this Ulta video first, and then a couple days later this look will come out, but there's two other videos ahead of it, so I'll post links to those above, and just be on the lookout for this look that I'm wearing today. But so for the first product that I picked up from Ulta, I got another one of the Makeup Revolution, what do they call these? The new neutral satin matte lipsticks. I have been wearing the shade Cashmere quite a bit, and I'm going to go ahead and tear the box up for you. This is in the color Stripped, and thank goodness they have it taped. So many people take it upon themselves. I'm really going to have to tear this box open. With my nails, I cannot get it open any other way. So this is that pretty leopard print packaging. I think this is gorgeous. I really like this packaging a lot that they're doing, and it's not translating as gorgeous as what it is in real life. But this is the color Stripped, and it's a very light color, and I'm going to go ahead and swatch it on the back of my hand. Just a little bitty swatch so you can see what that looks like. And it is a mauve or very light pink base, and I'm going to actually try to put some on right now in the middle of this look, and this is what I bought it for, to add a little bit of depth and dimension with some of my other lipsticks and lip pencils. So that is the shade Stripped, and it's from Revolution. I get so confused as to what to call them. I still call them Makeup Revolution half the time. Whatever, they changed their names too much and got too many brands to remember what everything is called. But yes, I did pick that up, and I also got an LA Girl liquid eyeliner for my top eyeline. I've been loving all the different colored liners, and this one is in some teal shade. Let me see if I can actually read what it says. It says Emerald on it, and I don't know. Guess I should get this off for you, so I'll be right back because we're going to swatch it. Kind of light, but I think I am going to like it. It's light and kind of bright at the same time. I think it's going to add a lot of just pizzazz to, and that's such an old person's word. I can't even believe I just said it, but it really, I can't think of anything else but pizzazz. I can't even believe I said that. Let me think for a minute. There has got to be something else I can say other than that. Nope, I guess there isn't. So moving right along, guess I'll be that old person. I also picked up, and this is from the brand LA Girl also. Let me see if I can just twist this and get it off. I think this is going to peel off. It looks like on the plastic was the name to the product. Let me see. What is this? It's called Vivid, and it's an eyeliner. I've been wanting for the last couple years to build my color eyeliner stash, and I just got around to it this year where I've been buying a bunch of colored liners. So this one looks really light. Oh, that's really pretty. So let's see if I can get this to come into focus. What a gorgeous shade. So I like that, and it looks like it's going to work out for me in the waterline. I love using color eye pencils in the waterline and even smudging them out and using them on the bottom lash line with my color eyeshadows. I no longer really like black or brown eyeliner on my bottom lash line. And for the next product that I picked up at Ulta, I did pick up another Maybelline Superstay foundation, and this one is in the shade 336. Oh my gosh, I can't believe, but I forgot what it's called, and I can't see to read this to tell you, so I'll have to put it on the screen. I normally wear the shade Suntan or something like that. Whatever it is, I've gotten a little bit darker from driving in the sun, so I needed a shade that was one darker, and thank goodness they came out with this one or maybe just the stores that I was shopping in didn't have it. I didn't even know they had this shade, but I got the next shade up. I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but this is one of my favorite foundations to record in. It looks gorgeous on the skin, so that's why I picked this up. And keeping with the theme of foundations, if you guys watched my videos last week, you would know, and this came from this Ulta haul combined together. This came from the online order where I picked up, this is just the empty box of the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Foundation in the shade Punta Cana. It is what I'm wearing on my face right now, so I am liking this for recording. Also, it's nice to have some variation, and this is a full coverage foundation. If you have not seen my first impression video of this foundation, I'll post a link to it above so you can check it out, and I'll also leave a link down in the description box so you can watch it after this video. But I picked up that foundation, so keeping in line with foundations, I also got the Juvia's Place, let's see which one this one is, the foundation stick. And when I picked it up initially, I got it in the wrong color. I think I got it in the shade Grenada, and it was way too light. But the thing about that is it did kind of work for highlighting down here, but I decided to take it back, and here's the outer box that it came with. And this is why I was in Ulta a couple days ago, was exchanging that, and I got the shade Cameroon. So I went ahead and got it a couple shades darker so that I could use it for contouring. I've been liking a little more foundation bronzer type contouring and not just the cool tone ashy taupey tones, or I don't know, I guess it's kind of taupe, what, not taupe, I don't know what it is, gray, dead looking, dirty underneath the jawline. I even had somebody ask me if I took my foundation all the way down here, and it was because I'd used a cool tone contouring product that made me look like gray and ashy and all this so dark down here. So I'm happy to have this stick in Cameroon. The next product that I picked up, or should I say replaced, was the Juvia's Place concealer, and this one is in the shade 13. The stick foundation, the I Am Velvet foundation, and the concealer, they're all in that first impression video that I'm leaving down in the description box for you of the foundations. So I think that's it for foundation products. Oh, no, got one more. I went ahead and picked up the Pretty Fresh, the new ColourPop Hyaluronic Tinted Moisturizer. And I'm going to have to do a spoiler alert. I could not wait to see what this was going to do on my skin. I went into Ulta with no makeup on, so as soon as I got home, my face was feeling dry because it was a little cold outside. So I decided I would squirt a little bit of this shade out because it's in the color medium dark, which is 16 neutral, and they do have warm shades. And I thought I was getting the warm shade, but I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention. So it's my fault that I picked up the wrong color. And as soon as I saw the tube, I thought, boy, that's going to be too light. And I'm going to go ahead and squirt a little bit out on my hand. So now that I've squirted a little bit out on my hand, I'm going to wait for this to come into focus before I say anything much about it as it's running down my hand. But as you can see, that's way too light. And I am going to go ahead and rub it in on my hands. And I put it on my face that day, and I expected to be like Casper ghostly white with it being this light. And surprisingly, I wasn't. It had a little bit of a dry look to the skin, but it didn't make me look ashy like when you put on the wrong color foundation. Now, I don't know if I can really give a true accurate assessment of this. I do see where it's made some difference on the back of my hand, where up here with the swatches of the eyeliners and all that, you can see, I'll wait for it to come into focus, where it seems like it's a little bit lighter than my skin tone, but not bad. Like if I wanted to pull this off, I could pull it off, but I'm taking the product back and getting my money back, and this is why. I don't want to exchange it for a different shade. Now, I put it on my entire face. It didn't look that bad, which I thought was strange, which meant it's a tinted moisturizer and there's not much tint to it. A couple of hours later, my face felt drier, especially right in here where I have issues with dry skin, drier than before I put this on. I'm not saying that it dried my skin out, but it definitely didn't help much in the area of hydration. So the whole tinted thing, I thought, that's strange. I'm going to try it, a little spot of it on my husband and my child. My child is a fair-skinned, red-headed child, and my husband is very fair-skinned also with red hair. I put it on their foreheads and rubbed it in. I could not see any of the tint at all. This should have turned up like somebody rubbed dirt on them if it had any tint to it at all. Their skin looked normal as if I put nothing on it. So I'm going to go ahead and return this. Maybe it's a great product for other people, but it's not one that I'm going to keep. And I usually don't go into a review like this as I'm doing a haul, but since I had to get into this product immediately and I saw that it looked like it was a shade that wouldn't work for me, I thought I would let you guys know how I felt about it and why you won't hear about it anymore on my channel, because I'm not going to replace the color. I'm going to try to get this to come into focus again. I guess I can see a slight tint and a difference between where I put it and my normal skin tone. And like I said, it did look a little drier, just looked like drier, ashier skin kind of on my face, but I wasn't that impressed with the moisturizing, and I wasn't even impressed when I put this dark shade on somebody very fair skin. So it is going back. If you buy it, you buy it at your own risk. Like I said, watch somebody else's review or first impression. They may love it, but I don't. And also I picked up the Juvia's Place Nomad palette. And I didn't pick it up. I ordered it on that first order when I got all the foundations and all that. And also I did my first impression with 2 looks in a video last week. If you haven't seen that, I'll post a link to that above so you can check that out, and also leave it down in the description box. And in case you haven't seen this palette, oh, I don't have to turn it upside down. It doesn't have a mirror, but Juvia's Place in their gorgeous packaging. And in case you haven't seen this palette, this is what it looks like. So check out those videos of the Juvia's Place foundation and the eyeshadow palette if you haven't already seen it. I also picked up one other eyeshadow palette, and it is the Revolution Chill palette. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Let me put the little insert down. Of course, true to the Makeup Revolution palettes, it's got a mirror in it, but this is what the shades look like. Ooh, it's closing on me. And it is like a 10 packaging. I don't know what I think about the 10 packaging so far. It's a little awkward. I'm not used to it yet, but I haven't got a chance to work with this palette. I am in love with this color scheme. And those pressed glitters in this palette are so pretty. I think I like this pressed glitter more, but I really can't tell because that one's so gorgeous also. But I cannot wait to get in this palette and work with it. That's what I got in the order along with the Juvia's Place foundations and eyeshadow palette. And as a free gift, Ulta also sent this LA Girl finishing spray. And it looks like it has glitter. Yep, some kind of glitter in it. Let me shake it up and mix it. I haven't even taken the shrink wrap off, so this should be interesting to try. They included this, and it does say shake well on there. But it's a spray to set as a finishing spray. I'm going to test it out, but I can't say that I even am really interested in spraying something with suspended glitter, but I'm staring at it as it's floating around. It looks so pretty. This is almost like looking at a lava lamp. Oh, okay, I am recording. I gotta stop looking at this. This is something that I could stare at. If nothing else, I might just keep it next to the bedside when I'm trying to go to bed and can't sleep and shake it up and look at it, because this is gorgeous for relaxation. If nothing else, I don't know about spraying glitter spray all over my face, but of course I will do it and try it because I want to give a first impression of it. Maybe towards the end of the day when I am getting ready to take my makeup off or something, I can turn the camera on and use this product and show you guys what it looks like. But I was appreciative to get this, and I'm looking down. I think that's everything that I got in my Ulta orders and my trip into Ulta to exchange those Juvia's Place concealer and foundation stick. And on that note, When I went into Ulta, I didn't know that the ColourPop, the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Tinted Moisturizer was going to be there. And the new Nude ColourPop 9pan palettes, I can't even remember what they're called. The Nude Blush and the Nude Mood palette, I think that's what they are. They were there too in a gorgeous display. I had been debating whether or not I was going to order those, but I decided to sit back and wait because that Berry Essentials palette, I don't really like 30pan palettes. They're really overwhelming, so I thought they were too much, and I thought that'd be great if they would put all the basic neutral mattes and stuff that work good for my skin tone in a 9pan palette. The Going Coconuts palette looks like it may be kind of close, but it's a little more on the cool tone, and I haven't picked that palette up yet. I may down the road pick it up, but I'm not sure how bad I really want it. So when I saw the Nude Mood one, I thought that it would be great. So as soon as I saw the display, I ran over and I swatched it, and I thought stuff was beautiful, so I just put it in my bag to walk around the store. Now, I planned to be in Ulta for like an hour or so because there were some perfumes that I wanted to spray and try out. And I typically have to wait an hour after I spray something and keep it on my skin to know if it's going to mix with my body chemistry, because a lot of times it smells good at first, but then an hour later it starts giving me a headache and makes me sick to my stomach. So I swatched it the one time, put it in the bag, looked at a bunch of other stuff, and there was so much stuff that I thought was gorgeous at Ulta, and I was so proud of myself because some of the things were in the drugstore section. And I have to tell you, the low buy last year really worked and really helped me out quite a bit. There's so many things that are coming out from affordable brands, like I think Catrice had some pretty things, and also Essence had some beautiful eyeshadow palettes that I really am interested in trying. And thank goodness at that particular Ulta, because I live in between two towns basically, to where I have an Ulta in one town and then an Ulta in the town that I live in, and they're basically joined by a river. One of the stores carries BH Cosmetics. I was in the one that didn't, which is a good thing because there's been a couple VH Cosmetic palettes that I don't know why I'm interested in those palettes, but I like them and they really appeal to me. And as I'm talking, I'll pop some of those up on the screen if I can find pictures to them. But I don't want to like get too much stuff all at once and not be able to get to it and show you guys the palettes and do looks with them. But I wasn't expecting to find all the palettes that I like from Essence, and of course they're affordable. Back a year or two ago, I would have shoved whatever I wanted in that shopping bag and would have left with it because it was a reasonable, affordable price. And the Revolution section in that particular Ulta had so many great products, and the I Heart Revolution, they had a separate section for that stuff, and there were all kinds of things that I wanted. And that ColourPop palette, I walked around with it and I checked out some of the higher end sections. I mean, I went through the whole store because that particular Ulta is bigger than the one that I usually go to, so they have more products. And I don't know where everything is in that store, so I wanted to get used to it. There were so many things that I saw that I thought looked good, but I could think of something that I already had in my collection and why I didn't need or want that product. So that was pretty impressive. And I saw the ABH Amrezy palette in person, and I thought that that was a gorgeous palette. And I thought it was gorgeous when I saw it online. It just looks like all the other ABH palettes that I already have, except for the Riviera palette. And I would rather just get the Riviera palette if I was going to do it to have more color selection, but I'm not going to do that because I have all three of the Norvina palettes. So I wasn't really interested in getting the Amrezy palette. I'm trying to think of, there's some other things I saw. Like I saw Tarte, that Spicy Bitch palette. First of all, I wouldn't buy that palette because of the name, but I feel so bad for Tarte because it's like they're so late to the show. That palette in person was beautiful. And if they would have been on time and not late like they typically are, I would have bought the palette from them because Tarte is one of my favorite eyeshadow formulations, and I would have loved to have it in their formulation. And surprisingly enough, we have KKW now in our store, and I have walked by her display a couple times, and I do like her aesthetics for plain everyday stuff. You know, her eyeshadow palettes would be great for me for a conservative look. They were definitely me, I would say 3-4 years ago. Her brand would have been right up my alley color-wise with all the neutrals and all that. And it's not that I don't like them, but I have so many neutrals and I'm so into colors and things that are more dramatic. And I don't necessarily want to dog her line because that's her aesthetic. And also, I feel like a brand needs to have those core basics also, so that anytime somebody is starting to wear makeup or likes that particular brand and that formulation, they can get their basics in that range. And so it wasn't necessarily a bad thing for her to start out with that, but for true makeup lovers that have been buying makeup lovers for a while, we already have all that and it's boring. And her stuff doesn't look bad, it just looks boring. But I did swatch a couple of her lipsticks in the nude collection, and I want to say, I can't remember if it was like number 16 and 17, the two last shades. I liked both of them, but really the number 17, the very last shade, I am not one to buy high-end lip products. The only high-end lip product that I have right now is Fenty Beauty's Unveiled, and that's because it's a dark brown, and I haven't been able to find a dark brown in the range that I wanted in any of the drugstore brands, and I got sick of buying all the drugstore stuff and then getting rid of it. I was wasting a lot of money doing that, but I may go back and get that KKW lipstick, and it's $18, but I didn't get it that day where I would have just impulse bought it. I decided to come home and think about it, and I don't feel like it's an emergency. I swatched it, it looked great. I left it on until I got home, so it was on for almost an hour and it didn't change colors on me because that's what typically happens to me with brown lipsticks. So I really do like that and may spend the money on it, but yeah, her brand, she's got a couple things, palettes that I like, but they're not exciting enough to get. And trying to think, there were some other things that I saw. It was mainly drugstore stuff that looked exciting to me, and they had, like I said, so many colorful Revolution palettes that I really liked a lot, and I would have bought them because I used to buy, you know, 5-10 Revolution palettes all at once because they were affordable if I wanted them a couple years ago. But now I've really cut back and I've really thought about all the stuff I have in my collection. So the low buy really helped. Even buying this stuff online, I haven't typically had any issue with shopping for products online besides buying the Revolution stuff from the UK, where I'd always make as big of an order as I could because I didn't want to pay for shipping. It takes like 2 weeks to 2.5 weeks to get the order shipped from the UK. And I wanted everything to come all at once, so I would end up buying more than what I probably should, and I'm no longer doing that. Even this Ulta haul, I feel like, was so much smaller than my normal Ulta buys when I would go in and do a haul. It seems like I would have more products, and I'm taking more products back, and that's what's pretty cool about it. There was a palette that I really wanted also, and I will pop it up. I think it's called the new nude blush palette. It's something that Revolution has that's duping Huda Beauty's new nudes, where they've kind of gone off and made like 3 or 4 of those palettes now. There was one that I really wanted, and it looked like those speckly metallic shades that Huda Beauty has in her new nudes palette. In that Revolution palette, they duped that formulation, and it was gorgeous, and I loved it. And I had that in my bag also, and I walked around the store with it, with the ColourPop palette, and I went back and looked at both of those palettes, re-swatched them again before I left, and put both of them back on the shelf. An hour later, I swatched that ColourPop palette on my hand again. I didn't like it at all. I don't know what I was thinking the first time around. I guess I was so excited that it was there and I was going to be able to get it that day. Those browns in the palette, I don't like the warm tone browns, and a lot of them were the warm toned kind of orangey red brown shades that I don't like, and it wasn't nude like what I thought it was going to be. just your basic, more of the going coconuts without it being cool tone, but just a true brown. It wasn't like that. That palette leans more to the warm tone, and I think it's a gorgeous palette for someone that wants that type of neutral palette, but it wasn't what I was looking for, and I have more than enough of that stuff in my collection, and the finishes of them weren't something I wanted in my collection, so I put it back. And then that Revolution blush palette, I sat and thought about it, and I have the Huda Beauty New Nudes palette, and it's a palette that I have not used very much. I think I've used it twice, maybe once or twice. I haven't got to play with all the color schemes, so that's a goal to get into that palette, because that palette costs $65, and I thought, what the heck are you doing? Just because that palette has that pop of blue in it doesn't mean that I need the palette. I loved the mauve lavender looking shades in that palette. I did like the way those looked swatched on my hands, just maybe a little bit more than the Huda Beauty one, but not that much to get that palette and never go back to using the Huda Beauty palette is what I was a little nervous about. So I put that palette back, and I was so proud of myself for doing that, because I thought if you do that, you are never going to get into that Huda Beauty palette that you spent $65 on. And I know a couple years ago, I would have gone home with all that stuff and not given it a thought. Now, not only am I not buying as much stuff just from looking at it first time around, even if it's not that expensive, but I'm really only buying the stuff that I've seriously thought about and truly want. The only thing that I came out of there with that I wasn't planning on getting was this lipstick. And when I bought the cashmere lipstick, I contemplated getting this one. So it wasn't the first time I saw it, but after using the cashmere one, I knew that I wanted the different lip shade to go with my mauve lipsticks, because the other one works better with the brownish tones, and I didn't know if I was gonna like the finish and the formulation of this when I bought the cashmere shade. And at first I didn't like it, but now I love it. And so I went back and got this because they were out of it the day that I bought the cashmere one anyway. So I'm really proud of my strides that I've made in not shopping as much. And when I go to return this, I'm not even going to take the credit and go buy some other product. I'm just going to return this and have them put the money back on my card. So that being said, I know this end part of this video really didn't go along with the haul, but I just have to say that after coming out of a low buy, I don't want you guys to think that I'm going to be having a bunch of huge hauls and all that, because that's going to really slow down. And I wanted to tell you that if you're worried about your shopping habits, you can get to the point where you can go to a store and not buy everything that you like just because you see it at first glance, but having a set list of everything that you want to get. And if it wasn't something you plan to get, don't buy it that first day. Leave without it and sit and really think about it and swatch it multiple times before you buy it, because some of the times you'll change your mind. I was really proud of myself and felt good once I got home that I was able to go in there and only get things that I had actually wanted to buy. I didn't end up buying any perfume or anything. I didn't impulse buy anything. And that was like a first for me in a long time, actually being in Ulta and not coming out with something I wasn't planning to have. So I hope you guys enjoyed this haul slash low buy. That sounds weird to have a little low buy discussion in with the haul, but I felt like it was important to say, and I probably will talk about that stuff as I do hauls, because I think that I need to slow down on some of my spending, even though I'm going to still be taking in a moderate amount of products. But I hope this video was enjoyable for you and helpful maybe with some of your shopping habits. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. You also want to hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button so YouTube notifies you every time I upload a new video. I'll see you guys soon.